Well, you guys, I need to start my video, but I have a a little stinker right in the way. Let me stop the camera and I'll come back on in a second. All right, I'm back on. She didn't like that, but it's all right. So this is, today is time for a scrapbook process video with my BoBunny stash bash. And y'all, I think this is my 5th video, I think, in this series, and it's using this Sunshine Bliss collection, this BoBunny collection. And what I have left is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of pattern paper. That doesn't sound like a lot, but y'all, this is like the never-ending collection. I'm not even counting all the double dots I still have, because these are kind of, you can use this any point, right? So these are, I'm not going to count that. We're just going to set that aside, because I got to get through this pattern paper, y'all. So here's what I'm thinking. I've got this picture of my daughter. She just sent a little selfie. I thought it was pretty. And here's kind of my inspiration. Can I get this to, oh, I guess that is big. What I kind of liked here is, first off, it's got this nice little like rainbow pattern behind with it mounted on top of another sheet. So I'm kind of thinking what I'm going to do is use this circle pattern as like the rainbow. And then I'm going to mount it like on this yellow. The interesting thing about these papers, what makes them a little bit tricky to use in some ways, is there's these like little clusters of things printed, which can work really great, like if you put pictures in the middle or this or that. But y'all, I'm just gonna be over this collection, so I'm gonna like make this work. I'm gonna mount it on that. I'm not going to gut it, all the things. But then I also like the fact that it's got these little squares here. Now they have little, I guess they're like 2x2 cutouts, and then they've got the picture kind of down here. What I think I'm going to do, what my plan is, let me get here. Where is it, y'all? This sheet. It has all these little frames, and I'm thinking I can do some kind of little piece together. Like I'll cut these apart and then basically assemble a little assembly similar to this, but with these frames. And then I also have these frames. So I may actually, some of the, they're the same size, right? So I think I may like pop them up on top of the pinks. So I'll kind of double them up and see if I can't make that look kind of cool. So that's what I'm thinking about my plan here. And so it's not gonna look exactly like that, obviously, because what I have in the way of like decor or ephemera or whatever you want to call embellishments, I have tons of these stickers, y'all. I'm gonna have to end up sticking some of these in my stash. There's just no way I'm gonna use all these, mostly because it's a lot of square things. There's no real like shapes to it, but I do like these little words. And then the only thing I have left here is like a few little, I have a couple of circles and some little banner pieces. I don't have a ton to work with, so I think I'm going to use these frames as kind of my embellishments on this one. Because you'll notice here they have like a little thing here, and then there's a little thing. I'm going to get into some stuff, but anyways, I'm going to shut up talking. I'm going to get to cutting, and I'll come back on here in just a moment, and you'll see where I'm at. All right, talk soon. Okay, gang, quick check-in. So what I've done so far is I did take, as I mentioned, this little polka dot one, and I have trimmed it down 1/4 inch on each side. And I did ink the edges in this hickory smoke because it's kind of got a gray, there's gray neutral in here. So I've done that. I did not gut it, y'all. I can't do it. That being said, I said, okay, I'm gonna mount my photo, and I decided I'm gonna triple mount this little booger just because I need to use some papers. So I have used the little stripe. I've already glued it down because I'm gonna actually scuff these. And I use my floral here, and then I've got this gray. But then I turn around, y'all, and I gutted them. Why did I do that? Well, I kind of know. I didn't want the edges here, but then I thought, okay, I can figure out some kind of way to use some of this. So I may make a card, y'all. I may end up making cards because, not that one. No, I don't know what I did with it. There's a sheet that has like, well, maybe I cut into it now. I may make cards. That might be my plan because I don't have enough. So here's what I have left over of my papers. This is all I have left of my papers at this point. So I'm really kind of proud. Honestly, I could get another layout out of this, and I don't know if I want to. So I may make some cards. That being said, okay, so now what I'm going to do is, that's not it. I'm going to scuff these layers here. But I have, and I've also cut all these frames, okay? So I have to piece these. I haven't done it yet. But then I have these gray ones as well. All these gray ones, or silver ones, faux silvers. And I've cut all these out too. And I kind of want these on top. So I'm going to have to see how this plays out because, interestingly, they're different. I thought they were the same, but they're a little bit different. So this might still look cool though. So I'm going to have to play with this just a little bit. Once I figure that out, I'll come back on because I don't want y'all sitting there waiting on me figuring this stuff out. But see how big that is? And I thought they were the same, but they are not the same. So I may end up piecing grays and pinks, you know, together like this and making it work because I think this looks kind of cool, you know. So anyways, let me get this mounted and I'm going to come on here and kind of work with this stuff here and see what I can figure out. I don't know. This might have to go here because I'm kind of liking this, you know, come in here because I kind of want, but this picture's so big, y'all. I might have messed myself up. That's not unusual. All right, let me get to working on this part and I'll come back on. Okay, you guys, quick check-in here because this is going to take me a little bit and I don't want to lose sight of letting you know what I've kind of started doing. So I'd gone through all these picture frames and I started building my little things and I started to try to do just up here and I quickly realized it's going to end up growing. So this is kind of where I'm at. I'm going to kind of keep building. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ink the edges of all these things, by the way. And that's going to take me a little bit. So my goal is here, I'm going to keep building these things. I'm going to build around. I have to decide down here if I'm going to keep going with the frames or, because I think what I'm going to do is use this little beautiful U as the title here. And then I still have like little stickers. I may take some of these little word stickers and kind of randomly put those amongst the things to use some of those up. But I don't know about like right here because my challenge is I don't really have, I was looking in here and I mean, I have like a little tag here and there, but I'm just not sure how that's going to go. I don't know if I like that. You know what I mean? It's kind of So I might pull these out in just a second, but let me go ahead and get these picture frames inked and glued down and kind of built upon, and then I'll come back. I'm pretty sure I'm going to also put this up on foam, by the way, to give it a little dimension here. So I wanted you to see that. So let me do that. I just want to show you what I was going to do because I don't want to come back on here all glued down that you know what I was doing. So let me do that and I'll come back on. All right, y'all, I have glued down all these frames except for the little bits here. So what I ended up doing was on these smaller frames, and I've kind of overlapped, I have put foam behind them because I decided I want to give them a little dimension. And a couple of them, how can I explain it? The upper right one right there I'm just touching, and then the one under my left hand right now, I actually double framed that, or whatever you want to call it. The pink frame was slightly bigger than the gray frame, and so I double layered it. So I put the gray picture part over the top of a pink kind of basic frame. So I end up with 4 little frames kind of raised up on foam plus the photo. And those are all now raised up on foam. And I think that looks pretty cool. I have to tell you guys, this is not how this layout started. I showed you guys the inspiration layout, and it always amazes me when you start working on a layout. And no matter what your inspiration is, it never, I shouldn't say never, that's a lie. Sometimes it goes, but it just seems like it as a process, it's like, how does the thing get out of control? You know, in the sense of like, this isn't what I initially imagined. But I really like how this turns out. So I'm not unhappy with it. It just always amazes me. I start off with one plan, and guys, I just drive down a whole different road. I mean, I'm just in a whole different town right now. Anyways, I'm kind of looking through my stickers and things like that. I did put that little beautiful U as the title right there at the bottom of the photo. I did try a couple of different spots. I was kind of moving it all over the place, and I decided I didn't like anywhere else, so that's where that ended up. So I looked at the sticker sheet again, didn't really see anything else, and now I'm kind of going through these ephemeras. I'm going to audition almost every one of these, and every one of them I think, Christine, that does not look right there. Just put it aside. You're not going to use it. I look at the key. I mean, literally, I stick almost every one of them over there, and I go, nope, not going to work. So I end up deciding on 3 little old words, beautiful, fearless, wonderful. If I'm 100% with y'all, I need to go back and look at the layouts I've made with this collection. I don't know where I've done it. I might have to go look in the, because I don't scrapbook chronologically, and I just stick my layouts in the books as I fill them up. So I have no idea where I've stuck these layouts that I did on this series here with all this collection. But my point in telling you that is I feel like I've used these same 3 words to describe her on another layout. Because I guess they really do, they speak to me as it relates to her. So maybe that's why, and that's okay. I decided after doing all that, I didn't have enough ephemera. I didn't have what I wanted there. So I decided, you know what? I need some leaves. So that's what I did. I run over and got my Big Shot, a couple of dies, and I cut out some leaves. So this part of the video, I've already glued down the 2 clusters on the left. there, and I'm just gluing this one on the right. And y'all, I I had no problems gluing down the clusters on the left, but this one here, I just could not couldn't get it glued down right. I did get into my stash, and I found these white flowers. I really debated using them because they're a little bit old-fashioned. What I mean by that is back in the day, gosh, I guess that now 8 to 10 years ago, if you've been scrapbooking that long, you know we were using all these little flowers, little fabric flowers, things like that, kind of papery flowers. And I think these, I don't actually know the maker of these. They were in a little packet of several little white flowers with a little pearl middle, but they're a little bit old-fashioned, and I debated on it, but I thought, you know what, this collection's 10 years old, and it's kind of vintagey, and you know what, Christine, just use them. They're in your stash, just use them up. So I used kind of smaller little flowers here, and I think it looks kind of pretty. It kind of defines the clusters a little bit, if that makes some sense. And then I did also cut this word documented out of one of the other little, there was like a little ephemera. It wasn't ephemera. It was like a cut apart or something that was in the papers that I had cut down so much there wasn't much left. But this little tag was still there, and I thought, oh, I can use that. So I decided to put that up over the picture there. So I have glued down all my little leaves and my flowers and things like that. I did realize I didn't like some of the leaves as much as they were poking up. I don't mind some poke up. In fact, I think it adds a little bit of interest and dimension, but some of it was just too much, and so I decided to stick a little Nuvo glue behind some of the ends of the leaves here, and I did put that little beautiful sticker over the top of one of the leaves there. So I'm just going to kind of go through and just dab a little glue on the ends of some of these leaves. Not all of them, because again, I do like to have a little bit of movement. I think it looks pretty, but just on a few. So you can see the little frames I still have left up there, and I was kind of, y'all, I was going back listening to my little intros to see what I need to tell you, and I ramble. I am so terrible, and I am so sorry. If y'all hang out with me for as long as I ramble, I really appreciate y'all, because, my goodness, sometimes I just keep on talking. Well, anyways, so I got all those left. So then I decided, okay, I got my leaves on that. I decided to get out this little Nuvo glitter pen or glitter brush thing. Again, this is a little bit of a, I hate to say this is an older technique because I don't know, I don't want to offend anybody if you're still doing this all the time, but I just don't see it as often as I used to. You know, most of us anymore use mixed media and sprinkle inks and things like that. I don't see a ton of these little glitter pens or glitter, I guess it's a glitter pen, being used. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it because it's kind of old-fashioned again. So I had a little bit of sparkle. I'm trying to show you the sparkle here. I do not think it shows up. So my apologies. I kind of wanted you to be able to see it. I just did basically those two little glass jars in that little picture there, and then a couple little flowers inside those picture frames. And I just wanted to give a little sparkle because the little beautiful you has that pink sparkly stuff, and I just thought it added something to it. Anyways, that's how this turned out, y'all. I'm not going to lie. I totally took a different path than I originally thought I would, but I think it turned out really pretty, and I'm not unhappy with it. I think I'm going to squeeze one more layout out of this collection, and I will have killed it, and I am so excited. Y'all don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.